I think we can all agree that Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3 was not an amazing season. In just a few days, we are going to get Season 4, so why not review the season with you since it's coming to an end. Starting off with the loot pool, I thought it was great that we had a lot of variety, more than what we usually get in the past seasons. We had like 5 different shotguns so the community could choose their favorite shotgun of choice, and I hope that they could keep this variety in the next season as well. In this season, they really centered the loot pool around the marksman rifles and added the mammoth pistol and the explosive repeater rifle. Both of these guns were fun to use, and I only thought that the explosive repeater was a little overpowered, but Epic Games did nerf it a little, so that's a plus. However, I thought the SMGs were severely lacking this season. With guns like the flapjack and tactical pistol, there was no point in using the SMG, and I think this might change in the next season. I also thought the ARs were lacking this season as well. The flapjack is more like an SMG, and the Havoc AR is completely overshadowed by the MK assault rifle. As for the items in this season, I think it was very solid. We had some decent healing options, and the addition of slap chug splashes were needed, and it made the overall healing loot pool much better. As for the items, I thought they were more of a hit or miss. The invisible glove isn't that good, and they could still see you if you don't crouch walk. The grapple glove was a great addition though, as in this season there was a huge mobility problem. In the previous seasons, the kinetic weapons were always good, but not in this season with the kinetic boomerang. It was just too weak to use even after they buffed it. The next thing we are going to be talking about is the map, and out of all the new locations, the one I loved the most was Shady Stilts. I thought the location was well designed, and my favorite spot was to land on that house because you could see everyone and get some easy kills. But sadly, that was the only location I liked, and I'm just not a fan of jungle themed seasons. The vines on the map are cool, but I didn't really see anyone fighting on top of the trees because if you get spotted, you are going to get lasered. I noticed that most people would just avoid the jungle themed locations as they would just land in Mega City or Brutal Bastion, which I think are much better places to drop at. Next, let's talk about the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass has some really nice skins, and personally my favorites are the Lorenzo edit styles and the Meowscles skin. However, after the tier 100 skin, the edit styles after that are kind of mid. Now we are going to be talking about the collabs and events. Saying the summer event is bad is an understatement. The summer event of 2023 has got to be the worst Fortnite content update that they have ever done. This was just a bunch of quests for XP, and all we got was some sprays and emoticons. And I'm not the type of guy that always tries to banter Fortnite for everything they do, but that event was really bad. The Jujutsu Kaisen collab was pretty nice though, and it changed up the game when it was needed, but the Hollow Purple is too OP. Performance wise, I didn't have much of a problem. My FPS was a little lower than last season, but that one makes sense because jungle areas do take up more of your FPS. It's got to render all the plants and fog and that sort of stuff. But let me know how your console or PC was holding up in the comments section below. Next off, we are going to be talking about the story of the season, because I know there are many players who like to see how the story is going on, so here it is. Starting off with the trailer, we don't know how Sloan is still alive and what is she going to do. The story quests also weren't making that much sense, and I think that all the story progress that is being made is to set up the story for the next season, which would be the final season of Chapter 4. So I expect Epic will put the story back on track. We're also wondering about the purple laser pointing to the sky and what this means, but I think we might find out why it's there in the trailer of the next season. Now in this video I'm not going to be going into competitive changes too much because I'm not a comp player, but I've heard that people are angry with Fortnite because Siphon is still not back in the game, and that most of them want competitive playlists to be different than normal Battle Royale. Let me know in the comments if I'm right, cause I don't know. Now, we are going to be talking about the mechanics in the game. The mud was a great mechanic that people used. There was a glitch that allowed you to go super fast if you kept slide cancelling, and it's nice that they didn't patch it. The augments that you can pair with it are nice, like Mud Warrior, which is my favorite mud related augment. Speaking of augments, in this season they were solid. Only a couple of them were useless, like wild lost weaponry and medium ammo required. The rest of them are decent, and I'd say this season's lineup of augments are better than the last season's. Now let's see what the community thought about this season. If you go over to the website X, before known as Twitter, you can see a lot of people hating on the season, with some of them going as far to say it's the worst season ever. In my opinion, they are over-hating on the season, but I can see their point. Now for my review, what do I think about this season? In my opinion, this season is not the best, but it isn't the worst season that I've ever played. I can certainly see why people dislike this season and why some people like this season. For me, I'm somewhere down in the middle. For my final rating, I would give it a season a 6 out of 10. It is an alright season, but I hope they can improve the game with their next season, which does look promising with all the teasers being shown. Write in the comments what do you think about this season and what is your final rating would be like. Like, subscribe, and goodbye.